Actually, I'm gonna go just DI, I think.
Rit, what you got there?
So we have the brand new Ross pedals. JHS just dropped these. It's actually kind of a big deal. And so today, Philip behind the camera and I are going to be checking out the pedals by creating a track. So we have the Fuzz, which never was an original Ross product. Then we have the really famous Compressor. Most people know this pedal.
Yeah, that's the most familiar to me.
Yeah, same thing with the phaser as well. This is a really, really popular, old school style phaser in the chorus, as well as the distortion here. So we're gonna be using these pedals to try and come up with some kind of interesting musical idea. JHS did send me these pedals, and today's episode is sponsored by Sweetwater.
Sweetwater's gonna give these away?
Yeah, so someone is gonna win the whole suite of Ross stuff. So link is in the description. Neither Sweetwater or JHS know what's in this video. They have no say or impact. And as always, we're remaining objective, and I'm gonna share my honest opinions with you here. Recently bought some new drum samples from Jake Reed. So I just grabbed this loop out of his pack. I mean, that's like ready to go. I want to do kind of like a DI sort of sound, like a... So far the thing I like about these is the simplicity. 2 knobs, kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing is actually really nice because, okay, if you take, for example, if we look at this board over here, my touring board that I built earlier this year, my fly board. This is an amazing pedal board and I love it, but look at what's going on here. So everything on this board, with the exception of the Octahive from Beatronics and the DCX Boost from Origin, everything is like a multi-effect or some kind of modeler or something interesting and esoteric like the mood. There's not a lot of simple things on this board. I think there's something to be said for modern companies staying true to a really simple design like this. It's 2 knobs. Each of these pedals has 2 controls. There's instructions on the back of them.
Oh, nice.
So if this is like your first pedal of a certain type, you can literally just read the directions on the back and figure out what's going on. I think more people should be recording DI guitars. DI guitar is cool. That's a cool sound. In the context of the mix, like whenever we're all done here, that's gonna be a really interesting, nice texture, that really kind of hi-fi DI sound. And what the compressor is doing for me is making it feel more like an amp would compress if I was playing an Edge of Breakup kind of amp sound. It feels better to play. And then I'm adding the chorus, and I've got a really like deep, fast chorus going on. So you want to put some bass down next?
Yeah. Wait, so what amp is this?
Right, so that's the Imperial Mark II. We've got the pedal board just plugged straight into the front of the amp right now. Maybe phaser? What might be cool is to put the fuzz in front of the compressor and get like a tons of sustain.
Yeah.
You just sit and lean on it.
So why do you think more guitar players don't do DI sounds?
I think a lot of guitar players, myself included for a long time, think that it just sounds thin and kind of like gross, which, I mean, it does. But that doesn't mean that it's not usable or it's not musical. There's a lot of great examples of DI guitar sounds. David Gilmour, for example, just to name one of my favorite players, that was known for using a lot of DI sounds. You could just plug straight into the console. You know, George Harrison was known for doing that. A lot of the studio greats were known for doing that, and it's a cool sound even today. Sort of a gross DI sound. But if I add some chorus, it's much more interesting already. If I slow the rate down, bring the depth all the way up. And then if we kick on the distortion here, now we can get this kind of quirky little, you know. And again, like on its own, yes, that sounds kind of bad, but that's sort of the point, at least for what I'm going for. I want a sort of nasally, buzzy sort of sound. You don't have to sound like your guitar is going into an amplifier. You can experiment, you can change things up and make things sound quirky and weird and different.
Yeah, I think a lot of musicians forget that it doesn't matter how something sounds by itself. It matters how it sounds in the song. Something
100%.
that sounds lame by itself can sound so cool in a song.
Yeah, I completely agree. So what I might do then is come back and find something that I like and then double that with a guitar, like a guitar into an amp, like a more normal sounding guitar or a synth or something else.
So Rhett, who are these pedals for, do you think?
All right, I think there's a few different players that would fit this type of pedal. If you are looking for your first one of any of these types of effects, first chorus, first phaser, especially first fuzz, I think these might be a good option for you, specifically on the fuzz. So I'm a fuzz guy. I love fuzz. It's probably my favorite effect. This is a really good option as your gateway drug into fuzz. So if you're the type of person that's looking to kind of ease their way into the fuzz world, this is a really good one. It's simple, level and fuzz, and then you got the vintage and modern switch on the side. You kind of can't go wrong with it. Same thing with the distortion. I think this would be a good first distortion for a lot of people. Now, out of this whole lineup, I actually liked the distortion the least. It's not really my cup of tea. It's not really what I look for out of a distortion pedal, but that's subjective. That's down to personal preference. My favorites, though, are the chorus, the compressor, and the phaser. These, I think, are really good options for someone who's looking for one of these types of effects, like me, who's a set it and forget it person. I don't need a chorus or a phaser with a ton of options. I just want to set it to one sound and be able to dial in the rate of the modulation. That's really it. Same thing with the phaser. These do one thing, but they do them really, really well. A lot of guitar players struggle with understanding compression and what compression does. And so when you get a compressor like the UA compressor, for example, like this pedal, the Max, this is a fantastic compressor. But for a lot of guitar players, something like this is really overwhelming and overkill and confusing. The Ross compressor, being arguably the most popular original Ross pedal, I think is a good option for people that just want an easy set it and forget it, turn it on, don't leave it always on. Set your amount of compression, set your level, use it as a boost, use it as a way to add sustain. I think they're doing a good job of paying homage to Bud Ross and what he did, because he was a really influential builder who I actually think doesn't get enough recognition today. So I think Josh and the crew at JHS are actually doing a really good job of shining a light on his work and what he did.
Also, I like the build quality. Like, they just seem sturdy. Like, I feel like we could literally throw that across the room 1,000 times and it would still work.
I'm not actually going to throw this across the room to see what would happen, but I mean, I guess you could if you wanted to.
If you're scared, say you're scared.
I think the chorus is my favorite one.
The chorus is pretty sick.
I really like the chorus.
Just look at it, man.
Yeah.
It's a babe.
We're giving away a whole set of these. Link is in the description. Thank you so much to Sweetwater for sponsoring today's video and the giveaway. Links to all the gear that we were using today, like the Isbell Tele, the Volt 476, which this thing's actually pretty great, by the way. Maybe we should do a video about this coming up soon.
Yeah, I think we should do an interface video.
We should do an interface off.
Oh, shoot.
All of this gear is linked in the description. Those are affiliate links, which if you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do that. I'm Rhett. That's Philip behind the camera. This has been Gear Talk. Thank you so much for watching. There's a whole playlist of these videos down below if you want to keep going. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you on the next one.